What's up,
Hector,
brother?
how are you?
Good morning. Good.
Yeah,
Yourself?
good. Yeah, doing well.
Good. Thanks for having me here, man.
Yeah.
Feels good. Been wanting to do this for a while.
Yeah, hard
Been-
man to track
yeah.
down.
Just been so busy, man. Just
Yeah.
been busy. Every time we do want to meet up, boom, a phone call pops up.
Yeah.
Got to go put out a fire. You know
Yeah.
how it goes, man. So
That's a blessing in and
but
of itself.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited. First time doing this, but you
Yeah.
know, it got to break the ice.
For sure.
Yeah.
So kind of tell us about HR.
HR Remodeling Construction. We're a remodeling company. We focus basically on residential construction and remodeling service. We really like to focus more on high-end bathrooms, kitchens, and we do repainting, flooring. I mean, you name it, residential-wise, we can knock it out. We love working with customers, homeowners, investors, anything that, that needs to be worked on, we
Right.
got you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's basically what we do.
I'll put
on
some snippets of their work in this video.
Yeah.
And to show y'all, because I mean, it's some real high-end work for sure.
Yeah, we love to do. We do anything. We love to do on the higher end. It gets funner.
Right.
When you get to have the freedom from a customer to get different materials.
Right.
When a client tells you like, hey, look, I want to do something different, something that you don't really see in Floor and Decor
Right.
or Home Depot. No shade to Home Depot or Floor and Decor. Great materials, but there's so many stores in Houston
Right.
that you can source materials for that really nobody has seen.
Right.
So those are really the projects that we love to do and work on. What we
man.
like to say custom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we do.
Nice.
We also, we do any type of work. Doesn't have to be high end. We've done fix and flips for investors. We've done lower budgets. We work with anybody.
Right.
We really love working with people and just when someone feels comfortable to call us and be like, hey, look, I got your number through this person.
Right.
They say you do the best work in town. And we do. We
Yeah.
do. We try to, right? We're
Yeah.
not perfect. We make mistakes, but we always own up to them. And, we do the best we can and just kind of day by day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your favorite part about owning a business?
Favorite part about owning the business, brother. Let's see. I'm a people's person. So my favorite part is making relationships. From meeting a client at the beginning where you're just two strangers meeting up or a four, it just depends on the family. To meeting up and talking about their vision, right?
Yeah.
Our slogan is building your visions, creating reality. So my question
it.
is like, what's your vision?
Yeah.
And then and meeting up and then just going through the process. And when you turn in that project and people like, I've had people cry, tear up. I've had people hug me.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
I'm tearing up thinking about my vision.
That's my favorite part, brother. When
Yeah.
at the end when they're like, wow, like I could envision it, but I just couldn't envision the reality of it,
Right.
right? Like now we're here and now I'm showering in my dream bathroom.
Right.
Now I'm cooking in my dream kitchen, right? I would say that's my favorite part about having a remodeling business. So
Yeah, that's major.
Yeah. No, it's amazing, man. You become family with people. You get to sharing a wine and glass with them. They'll invite you over for dinner.
Right.
One of my other favorite parts is when someone else calls you and they're like, hey, I got a phone call from so-and-so. They said you did their kitchen and they loved working with you and your team, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just me, we're a team.
Right.
And I'm just like, really? From who? And then that always gives me a little, I get chills just talking about it,
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, yeah, let me know what we need to do for you, meet up with the client, and we, hopefully it all works out and we end up working together.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
What kind of advice have you received? What would you say is the best piece of advice that you've received from a mentor or somebody?
best piece of advice. Let's see. So one of my main mentors, it's my godfather / uncle. His name's Ivan. He's taught me everything I know. main piece of advice, it's always do your best, be honest,
Right.
be transparent. People love honesty. It goes a long way.
Right.
Uh, and then don't give up. Don't give up. Even when things get hard, don't give up. I mean, owning a business is not easy.
Right.
You have days that are just headaches, and then you have good days that are beautiful, right? But I think it's the hard days that really make the good days like be worth it, right?
For sure, it's a balance.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's a
Yeah.
balance, and you got to learn. And you got to learn that there's like, okay, we're having a hard day or a hard week or even a hard month,
Yeah.
right? But back to it, I guess it's just being honest, be a good person, man, be a good
Right.
human. It goes a long way. It feels good to get done with the project, knowing that we were fair, we did good work, we used the best materials, gave them the best quality. I would say is probably one of the best advice pieces of advice that I've received from anybody. What do you think?
I think my dad always told me, he said, people do what you inspect, not what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to fully grasp that you're going to have to inspect people's work.
Mm-hmm.
But we always think like immediately, why didn't they do exactly what I thought?
Okay.
They should have. And we get riled up. And knowing that it's okay, and it's been a lot better for me in this growth stage, is like to go and inspect and be like, hey, let's go ahead and just do this. Let's kind of move this. And then let them go again, be free again. And not being so upset that they didn't do exactly what I pictured in my mind. Because, like I said, people do what you inspect, not what you expect. And so it's been a unfolding, because then it becomes a trust thing, right? And especially when you stop trusting is when you start taking hands on everything again.
Yeah.
And it stops growth. And so, like, it's just being more calm when the expectations aren't, the inspection doesn't meet our expectations.
Right? Well, because everyone has their own thought process, right? Yeah. So that's something I've dealt with too. It's like you give a certain instructions, right? It's like, hey, I need this done, but you always forget one detail.
Right.
And it's like, how did I forget that detail? And then the person doing the work is like, well, you never said that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I didn't have to say it. You should know it.
Yeah, exactly.
But not everybody's thinking what I'm thinking,
Right.
right? So I get what you're saying. It makes, it's a daily thing that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true.
Because, it said everything rises and falls on leadership, and most people know that.
Yeah.
Everything rises and falls. A business only grows as great as the leader is capable of. But then you think about the language of leadership is effective communication. Because we can communicate all day and we can start arguing and stuff, but that's the lack of effective communication. Because we can say a lot of words, but if we're effective communicators, we can say 10 words and know exactly, I know what you're saying.
I got you. Yeah.
And that's the whole key on effective communication, which then is leadership, which then is growth. And so that's been a focal point of mine, is studying on a lot more effective communication. So what would you say to someone just now starting out? Young entrepreneur.
Young entrepreneur. I am a young entrepreneur myself.
Right.
But I have learned a lot just by having the right people around me. I would say to someone just starting out, it's not easy. You got to wake up every day, ready to work hard, ready to think of new ideas. Save money. Be careful with your funds. Not all. I think as a young entrepreneur, some of the things that I deal with is I seen the money coming in, but I wasn't keeping track of what was going out. Right. You see it all come in and it looks good.
Yeah.
And then you go back to that Amex statement and you're like,
yeah,
I owe $15,000-$20,000 and
yeah,
and you owe tax. You got to talk to your CPA. You owe
yeah,
taxes and you got to have backups for when the projects go wrong because something can always go wrong.
Right.
So I would say work hard, be careful with the funds, save up, and just give it your all every day.
That's awesome.
And I think if you believe in yourself, the world is yours, right? Yeah.
Nice.
So what would your advice be?
Dude, would be just that right there, what you're saying. Because especially anybody that does like projects, it's and even in season, so any company that is like seasonal based,
Mm-hmm.
you really gotta hone in and plan for when season's down or planning for those gap between projects. Because mine, especially with us being projects, you hit a big project, you're like, ooh,
Oh yeah.
and you may hit another one right back to back.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh,
This is
yeah.
good.
And then you might go a month.
Yeah.
You might go, and they start getting stretched out. You're like,
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I thought it was all gonna be like this.
Yeah.
And then especially same thing, even when I was doing the lawn care, it was like knowing that during lawn season, it's booming. We're doing projects. We're woo.
Everything's coming in.
Right, and then we start buying more equipment, and then before you know it, it's like, it's wintertime, and it's just planning for those gaps.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of young entrepreneurs kind of aren't prepared for. They start getting more money in, and they're just like, all right, more money out.
Exactly. Got to be prepared for the rainy days, right?
For sure.
Or for the cloudy days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, recently, really from January all the way to July for us, we hit it hard, brother. Like, it was just constant work, constant projects. Everything was looking good. And then from the middle of July to like the middle of August, it just chilled out, right? But like you said, you learn from it, right? And you learn to prepare, and you find ways to keep the guys busy. But it's something you got to be prepared for because, like you said, some people don't keep track, and then 3 or 4 weeks without work might break some of these companies, man. Yeah, especially depending how much staff and equipment and payments and insurance and all this gas and all this stuff that you have going on. It can definitely add up.
Yeah, and I always say downtime is productive time, because during those times I'd start freaking out, I'd start making stuff happen. But I've started to realize when I start seeing it sooner than later, I start, analyzing the data that I had before. Okay, what were we doing in these months that I could really take and systemize, or where did I see my weaknesses at in these months? What do I need to start building on or preparing for when it does start going hard again, because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's a seasonal thing, but they always come back around. It's like clockwork. And so it's just like, okay, what do I strengthen in this time that I'm down? Because I'm still going to be productive, obviously. I'm not moping around, but it's just like I'm preparing for this next big hit.
Yeah.
And that next big hit. And if you do that every single time in a cycle, it's like, then it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And so that's been really vital for me. Downtime is productive time.
Downtime is productive time. So what do you usually like to do on your downtime? Like, what's your, all right, I got downtime. What are you doing next?
Dude, my addiction is studying, bro.
Studying?
That's like my me time. It's personal. Like, I go outside, and, it's just like, it's like being at the beach or anything, like, being in a pool or swimming, like, for other people. But I like to find I find joy in becoming better, becoming stronger, right?
Okay.
So I look at myself as a chain, or I look at my company as a chain. And the old saying is, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Okay.
So I'll find immediately what that is. Like, what issue do I keep running into in my company? Oh, it's this, right?
Okay.
So then I'll find that, and then I'll just deep dive study on it.
Really?
So I'll find books on it, and I'll study on it and watch videos on it and stuff like that, and just consume on it. And then I'll put it into action. So I'll start implementing it, and then I get excited because I'm like, I used to have this issue, but now we're effectively communicating, and jobs are getting done better, right? And it's like, okay, and then once you'll know when you're better at that level on whatever that may be, then you'll find the next thing, and then you just slowly but surely, because I've learned that there's nothing new under the sun, but we always overestimate what we can do in a day, what we can do in a week, but we fail to really think about months and years and stuff.
Yeah.
And like knowing that it does take time to build anything that's worthwhile, and even ourselves, like we have a long ways to go. But it's just like, as long as we start with that and know, like, each day I'm doing my best
to get better.
And so.
Yeah. No, I mean, every day is a new day to get better, right? Like you said, studying and just seeing where you're wrong and trying to overcome that, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Because it's the same thing with working out. I mean, dude, like, it's more valuable to work out for an hour a day for a month than to work out 8 hours in one day.
Yeah.
Not
gonna do much.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that is the same principle. Is like, it's better to read for 1 hour a day or 30 minutes a day every single day for your life versus, one day I read 5 chapters.
Yeah.
That's cool, but it's not consistent. It's not that
slow progress over time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that. I mean, I've been working out for a while, but one of the things, like, we go hard for a bit and then we fall off, right?
Right.
Or we go on a
That
vacation
little
and we
plateau
enjoy
gets-
life.
yeah.
Then you get back and it's, you get back into the groove of things and you're like, dang, I just, I just messed up everything I worked for.
Yeah.
But I think it takes a lot to realize, to be like, okay, boom, I don't have to stop right here. Let's just get back in the groove of things,
Yeah.
slowly but surely, and then just getting better at it. Like you said, it's just not. It doesn't stop, or it doesn't start in one day and it's gonna be good in 1 week. It's
Right.
just slow progress over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a daily habit. So.
Yeah.
Well, Hector, man, I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, and we thank so much to Eric Acosta for having us here at Texas Barber University. If you're anywhere around New Caney, Porter, North Houston area, come check out the barbershop. As you can see, yeah,
Yeah, I just got mine yesterday too. We're
Some of
looking
the best
crispy.
things, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks TBU. Thanks Eric. Thanks to their whole team. Amazing team here.
Absolutely.
Lovely people, and just glad to be here with you. And thanks for everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for being consistent and getting me here today. Thanks, man. It's a good time, and I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
For sure.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.